The global financial system is worth well over $100 trillion. I'm not including real estate here. If we take like the entire crypto market is probably today less than $2 trillion, or at the peak it was probably $3 trillion, and that's nothing, right? That's very small compared to the global financial markets, which are well over $100 trillion. If you take all the stock markets of the world, all the bond markets, all the commodity markets, and so on, and you'll probably touch more than 100 trillion. And there is a crypto called Sologenic that is trying to capitalize or go into the space, or so that they benefit by getting access into this entire $100+ trillion market. How are they doing it? We'll talk about that today. We'll see what is so great about them, what are some of the concerns that I have about them, what are the risks that I foresee, and what should you probably be doing with regards to this crypto. So let's begin with this. Right now, what exactly is Sologenics? Well, Sologenics is solving a real problem. They are trying to tokenize and trade 40,000 assets on demand. Right, you have assets all over the world. Right, you have assets listed on the New York Stock Exchange. You have assets listed in the Bombay Stock Exchange, to exchanges around the world, to the London Stock Exchange and whatnot. Now, is there a way to tokenize those assets, put it on a blockchain, make it easy for everybody else to trade with it, make it more liquid and so on? It's possible. Sologenic is one of those cryptos that are trying to do this. There are many more, but I'll talk about Sologenics today. What exactly is this? Well, to give you a very simple example, for instance, imagine like I'm sitting here in India. For me to invest in Tesla, which is listed on the US financials, US stock markets, it's not an easy process. Right? It is possible, but it's not an easy process. That means more than 99% of the retail traders from India are like out of the US market. So how does Sologenics make it possible? Well, they do a very simple thing. What they do is they issue an asset which sort of mirrors the Tesla stock. For instance, it could be a synthetic Tesla. Well, we did another video called Synthetics. You can go check that out. They do something very similar. So now what you can essentially do is, now there is a synthetic version of this asset that is present on the blockchain, and the value of that is derived from the Tesla stock. They are able to tokenize the Tesla stock and put it on a blockchain, and you can trade that, you can buy it, you can, they're making it borderless. Right? That is the biggest advantage of an idea like this, that they are solving a problem in a very borderless way. That means the US financial system, for instance, or the US stock markets and so on, for instance, opens up to the rest of the world for even average retail traders like you and me to get into it. And same goes for every other market in the world, provided they participate in this. So that's an insane scale, that's an insane market, and that's something that I think is really great about this. And I'm most pumped about is the fact that this whole crypto is in this space. The next thing that's great about them is that they are following KYC and anti-money laundering process to tap into the traditional finance ecosystem. That's because if you have to get into them, it is these are something that is absolutely required. So they will be undergoing a lot of, for everybody who has to enter this has to do KYC and AML onboarding processes, and only then they will be able to participate in that. So that's good in some ways, bad in some ways. Let's just for now agree the fact that that is actually a good thing, makes cryptos a little more legitimate. So that's one more great thing that I feel about them. The third thing that I really liked is the fact that they have something called Sologenics, which is an enterprise solution. Right? Enterprises, I believe, will always have a better edge in something, especially a space like this, making any product for them. And if you get it right, then you might really have like billions of dollars in revenue every year. Sologenics is trying to do something very similar. They're trying to provide all these benefits that you see for financial institutions, and that might be a great idea if it does latch on. Then, decent roadmap accomplishments so far. Right? If you go to the roadmap section, you'll see that they have so far completed a number of things like the DEX, the NFT marketplace, the asset tokenization testnet, and so on. Their development products for 2022 is also listed. There are a number of interesting things like debit card, credit card launches, an NFT marketplace, Sologenic NFT program launches, and of course the most important one is getting the securities broker dealer license so that they can get the stock exchanges online. You can open the Solo wallet. You can also look at the Solo card. Now this is essentially a way to spend the crypto that you have. You can use this at any credit card point of sale machines. They even have an app, Solo Dex, that has been downloaded more than 50,000 times already. So that is a pretty interesting thing. And they also have a decentralized exchange, which you can go sign up for and start using. The number of trading pairs listed though is very less. That might be the only drawback. But otherwise, they have all this launched already. What are the concerns that I have? Well, the first one is the roadmap still has a lot of hype items. Right? If you looked at the roadmap, all these items in terms of let's say NFT marketplaces and so on, this was all the hype of 2021, and I don't think something like this needs to have a focus going forward. Most of these, like a DEX and whatnot, are bare minimum things that you require as of now. It's not an innovative thing, because you're competing with so many other DEXs. So it's no longer the feature that or the product that is required in 2022. You're at least a year or if not more behind. So many of these items on the roadmap, I feel, are seriously hype items and are no longer so relevant and might not drive up price or because speculation because of that. The next thing is the TradeFi is yet to be activated. Right? I just showed you the DEX. Right? You can also go sign up for the platform where they tokenize the assets. They give you a lot of tokens for free to, it's a simulation right now. They give it to you for free to start using it, right? So you can see it's mentioned as simulator on top. So that means they have a product which is fully functional. They are getting people to use it, right? When you sign up, you get a notification like this that tells you that you get like 1 BTC, about 20,000 XRP, 20,000 USD and 50,000 Solo for you to practice your investment skills. So that is a great way for you to get started and learn the product. What it means for you as a investor is that they have the product, but what is necessary for them is to get the licenses and the go aheads from essentially all the stock exchanges so they can start getting them on board, right? So live trading is what is not yet there. That's the only thing. Otherwise, a practice one is there. So that is the concern that I have, that the TradeFi is yet to be activated. The next thing is the multi-country regulators that we deal with. Right? If you go to their dashboard, you will see that they are trying to support a number of exchanges. Right from exchanges in India to Europe to North America, they are trying to support every possible exchange out there. New York Stock Exchange, Nasdaq, to the Bombay Stock Exchange, the National Stock Exchange in India, to even the Moscow Stock Exchange. So they're going all over the place, and they're trying to get all these guys on board. But it is not going to work so easily because you have to deal with regulators from multiple countries, and that's one concern that I have. It's going to be a slow process. So whoever is going to invest has to be there for a while. The next thing is deflationary token economics by design. Why am I mentioning this as a concern? That's because we are not really sure how this will actually play out, right? Because most cryptos have a fixed token supply or an inflationary one. Very few have a deflationary token supply, but these guys have gone with a deflationary token supply where every transaction will end up burning tokens. As an investor, it's good. If you're holding these tokens, then it means that as more and more usage of this platform happens, as more Solo tokens are burnt, then your value is already going up. Right? So my concern is, was this created with the intent that, hey, we need to game the price in some way and let's just do it right from beginning by creating a deflationary currency, right? Is that the intent? Not really, we don't know, but that is essentially my concern. Why did they create a deflationary token economics by design? The next thing is the risks, right? First one is the regulations heavy kind of a space, right? You have so many things. You have to collect KYC, AML related onboarding items. You have to probably submit a lot of reports, be in constant touch with regulators around the world, not just in one country. And that means the team is going to be spending a lot of effort. There has to be a dedicated team for this, and a lot of revenue, you could say, just goes into, as a huge cost into dealing with this. And not to mention the fact that if, let's say, one country decides to shut it down for some reason, then it impacts the price across the board, regardless of whether it's happening anywhere else or not. It can affect sentiment very easily, right? So that is my problem with this. Right now, there's a very small community, limited trading. If you saw the trading pairs, there's barely anything. Not even Ethereum can be purchased. If you go and check out the trading pairs, except for XRP and a few other tokens, a few other cryptos, even ETH is there, but nothing major. Beyond ETH, Bitcoin, and XRP, I don't think there were too many cryptos for you to buy and sell, and that is a bit of a concern. Their Discord community is barely 5,000 members. That's pretty sad considering that they have 50,000 downloads of their app. So that somewhere doesn't correlate to me. The roadmap on Messari says something else. If you go down to Messari and check out their roadmap, it says by Q3 of 2020, platform will be fully functional with on-demand tokenization of 40,000 stocks and ETFs. And this was promised for Q3 of 2020 and is not yet done now, which is like 2 years later. So are they behind 2 years? That's something that is of concern if they are behind by almost 2 years. Then there is something called Corium, right? That's going on. There is an airdrop for that as well. You can go check that out, right? So what is Corium? Well, they are today the Solo tokens are based on the XRP ledger. They want to move it into probably another blockchain so that you can reduce costs. Their own blockchains, a native blockchain. And the founders, Bob and Reza, they are the co-founders of Sologenic, and they're also the co-creators of Corium. Is it too early? Because there are many projects that have taken a similar trajectory. For instance, BAT. They started off with BAT being on Ethereum, as a ERC20 token, but eventually moved on to their own blockchain. But it took time. They validated that, hey, BAT actually has a use case. The Brave browser is actually used by like 60 million people on a monthly basis. So they figured that, this works, and hence they eventually moved it. Considering that these guys are not even live with some of their core products, I'm not sure why they are trying to move or spend any effort, attention on creating their own native blockchain. That does not make much sense to me. That seems like pretty bad timing. It's too early. The core team will be, their attention is split across two different products, and that's not really good, right? You need to have focus. So what should you do? First thing is do your own research, right? I cannot stress enough on this. Explore the Corium airdrop, right? If you do some basic things, you have a chance of getting maybe getting into the Corium airdrops. It is happening even this year, so go ahead, read this announcement. I'll link it in the description and figure out how to get see if you can get some airdrops and some free coins here. The next thing is be aware of the vesting period and overvaluation. The founders, right, they have a 36-month vesting period. If you look at Sologenics, they pretty much launched, I think, last year, May, I believe, and it's about 18 months. So that means another 18 months more, and their vesting period ends. They launched in May of 2020. So from then to now, it's already about 30 months. In May of 2023, they will be able to start selling their cryptos. Which means that in 6 months, the price of this can go down if the founders itself feel that this is not going anywhere, right? They could just dump it and move on with their lives. That's highly possible, and that could happen as early as in 6 months, because their vesting period is ending in 6 months. So be careful of that, because even when I checked out their blog, the last major update they gave was back in Q2 of 2022 update, which is on 11th of March. So since then, there is no other blog mentioning an update of Q3 and so on. So that is concerning. In 6 months, will they dump then you will be left holding a bag of worthless tokens. So be aware of that. And also look at the valuation. Are they overvalued? Well, today they are worth fully diluted about 134 million. Total coin supply is 400 million. At 134 million for essentially a DEX and nothing more than that. Everything else is still in very nascent stages. Unless it goes live and gets users, it's not even in like early beta of sorts. So very high valuation, I think, and this is down from like 95% from their all-time high. So definitely we might see some action where a lot of people might sell if the price goes up, or the founders might sell as soon as their vesting period ends, if nothing moves with Sologenic in terms of their roadmap. So these are some of the severe concerns and red flags that I see then that I wanted to highlight. If you like this video, then do subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about it, and stay tuned for more such amazing videos. Welcome to the Wave Crypto Club.